All right, we go. Come on. All right. Let's get them started.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence do so with a mental masturbation. We do so because the chains of oppression in people's minds are deep and difficult.
Okay. Here we go. We live, baby. All right. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye. I'm your host, Third Eye Optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. Are you ready? Are you ready to get that third eye open? Do you think you got something to say? Hey, wait a minute. Where is it? There it is. Call us at 844 WHGE 53. That's 844-944-3953. And I will put you on the air. As a matter of fact, if you join me on Facebook Live, yes, I am on Facebook Live. If you join me on Facebook Live, I can pull you up on the video. That's word. I can pull you up on the video. So if you really think you got something to say, call in. Let me know you want to get on the air. Come up on the Facebook Live feed, and let's get it going. Let's get it on. Do you have the nerve? Oh, Lord. Okay, let me take my jacket off. I'm getting a little warm in here. Woo. And you know what? When that third eye heats up, it heats up everything. Your mind, body, and soul. That's right. Yeah, I know I'm a little away from the mic, but y'all can still hear me because I got a booming voice. That's right. All right. That's let me just get started right from the bat. Let you know why we're here. We're here, like I said, WHGE is the education station. And the reason I'm here is because I get support. That's right. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, founders and builders of the Pearl Center, the veteran-specific apartment building. Wait a minute. What I got here? Oh. All right. Where's that? Okay. Hey, get the disclaimer in there.
The views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are there and are not intended to be used in any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
All right. I live at the Pearl Center. It's on 300 East 8th Street. And I am a veteran. And the other day while I was standing out there, I'd like to give a big shout out to the young lady that rolled by and waved to me. And when I waved back to her, I looked at her, I was like, I don't really recognize her. And she said, hey, I followed you. All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm sure you tuned in today. Good. When I was standing out there, interesting thing, I had a discussion with a young brother who, was talking about some of the issues of the day and why he was what he was and how strong his faith was in Christianity. And I asked him, how did you become a Christian? And he said his mother taught him, or his grandmother, and so on and so forth. So I asked, well, how did she learn? Well, her mother taught her. And her mother get it from? And I think they got it from their father, and on and on and on and on. And finally I went back to where they got it. And I asked him, if your slave master wasn't a Christian, would you be a Christian? Let me give you a quote from Dr. Clark. Spirituality was here before religion was here. And that foreigners turned spirituality into religion and turned the religions against each other. And said that God ordained what they were doing, therefore making God a bigot and an accomplice in their dirty deeds. That's from Dr. Clark. All right. Ask yourself, did you know every biblical character is based off of real people out of Kemet? Better what Westerners know as Egypt. They were the first civilization to understand the true nature of the Creator. The principles they carried made them mortal gods. That's why their bodies were preserved. They understood time. But over time, their story has changed, and a lot of other religions adopted their story and made it their own. And we can go real deep into that, and I'm sure we will on the air one of these times. A little history. Who's Fred Sanford's favorite singer? If you're a Sanford and Son fan, you know it was Nina Horn. When singer, actress Nina Horn entertained troops during World War II for the USA, German prisoners were seated in front of the black servicemen who were relegated to the back of the theater. Okay, German prisoners, the enemy was put before black soldiers who were giving their lives to fight for this country. And the German prisoners were put before them. This was a common practice during World War II. Because the U.S. Army refused to allow integrated audiences, Nina Horn walked off the stage to the row where the black troops were seated and performed to them. The black soldiers then had the best seats in the house. Big ups, Nina Horn. Big ups. That's that's what you call caring for your people. She didn't give a damn what they said. She went to the back row and turned her back to all the white to the white audience and the Germans, and performed for those black men. I ain't got nothing but love for you, Lena. Nothing but love for the legendary Nina Horn. Yeah, that's right. All right. Yeah. Let me get around to this here. Let's see. All right. And setting up and getting his ducks in a row in the studio. Let me turn his mic on in case he want to holler out before he takes his seat. Brother Nsoromma. How you doing, brother?
Yeah.
All right.
Wagwan,
brother. Buddy, wait a minute. Where I'm gonna put that.
The first commercial was low coming in today.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Oh, while you here? Yeah. Oh, I gotta get with this. Oh. Where is it? Oh, it's up there. Okay. I told you, my cousin called me after last week's show.
Uh-huh.
And he said, Yaga!
That's just top. Gra. What's good?
And he said
Hello,
he told me, he said, you know what? I got that wrong. I said, oh my God. He said, no.
What? You got that wrong.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He talk about the record. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he's talking about.
Okay. Yo, what's good though?
This, that, the other thing.
How the wheels working?
Everybody's.
Okay. Yep. What's good, everybody? Glad y'all tuned in. You know, it's Saturday. It's our day to act up. You know what I mean? And that's what we about to do.
Yes,
yo,
Lord.
you ain't questioning. You want to hit us up? Yo, we look for your answers, and we'll try to give you some, things to search for too. You know what I'm saying? Things to make that thing spin. You think what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. Corona.
That's that Rona by Nsoromma.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Word,
Yes,
that's what
sir.
it is. This is crazy out there. That room is still on full blast almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you getting these shots and they ain't even dealing with the
You
corona.
know?
They giving you this new DNA.
Man.
Yo.
Oh, Lord.
Yo, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They're going to have a recall in 3 more years on them, The shots that they get. They can't take it back now.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
How about that? This is the kind of stuff that goes on in capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalist society.
Yeah.
Even though the vaccine is free.
Right.
Yeah, it's free. It's free.
I mean, I'll give it to you for free too. If I ain't got no repercussions, you taking it.
Now, here's the thing. Even though it's free, you always got the scammers out there. All right. And they're calling up people and they're telling them, oh, yeah, we need your, if you want to, get your vaccination,
right.
All you have to do is give us your credit card number. Watch out, y'all. Watch out. The vaccine is free. Somebody call you up talking about they from some medical association or government agency talking about, they get make sure that your name gets on the list to get the vaccine. They're lying.
Yes.
That's where you can go to most churches, community centers, your hospital. If you're a veteran, go to the VA.
Right.
The vaccination is free.
And they got set up vaccination spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some of these churches and what have you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Now, let me tell you, the problem with capitalism is that if you are born into wealth,
right,
your only capital is your labor. So automatically, your human body is now a commodity that you must sell. And if you can't sell it for enough, you won't be able to care for it, and you will lose your capital.
Say that again.
Let me run that back.
I had. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The problem with capitalism is that if you are born into wealth.
Okay, hold on. Because I was always taught that you are born into wealth when you're healthy and have all your arms and you can do everything. You are the wealth.
Right.
You living and having the blessing to be able to move and do your limbs and all of your moving parts are okay, and you don't have any disablements. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You are wealthy.
So your body is your wealth.
Right.
So your capital is your labor. So automatically your human body is now the commodity that you must sell in order to survive. And if you can't sell it for enough, okay,
that's where the 8 hour, that's where the robot comes in.
Right.
That's where I mean, that's the way. But when you actually born and you get that birth certificate, that wealth of you already being wealthy, they recognize that and they give you $650,000 or $750,000.
Yeah.
So
the thing is collecting that.
Right.
That's
you
the
already
thing.
are worth a trust fund. And they put that name into a trust fund and you've been making money all this whole time.
They've been making money off of you.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
But it's your money. I mean, you don't know
you
how to claim
it. You gotta know how to claim it.
You have to know how to claim. You have to know how to do research.
You
have to know how to drive. You have to go get the driving book. You go know what's in the driving book to pass the test.
Right.
You gotta know what you gotta do to go get your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I said, 99% of people don't know how. And if you
most
can't sell your commodity and your labor for enough, you won't be able to care for it. And what I mean by that,
Right.
you out here working some labor-intensive job
Right.
for minimum wage, can't get no damn medical services,
Right.
and what have you, you know, then the capital that is your body is gone. See, the brother lived in my building.
Right.
Right? Brother's in his 50s or whatever, working hard, trying to do what he do, you know. What happened? Brother, they found him dead. He's in his apartment for 3 weeks. Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace. Bless his soul.
You know, we Africans did resist slavery. Hold up, I got my stuff mixed up a little bit here. Wait a minute.
Get it together, brother.
Yeah.
Get it together, brother.
Yeah. Okay. I can go ahead and go with this. All right. Let me tell you something. We as Africans, those that were enslaved, we did 3 things to resist slavery. We would escape the free territory,
Right.
which was not just in the north, all right, but was also in Florida.
Right.
We would live as maroons off the land and raid plantations to free other Africans and take supplies.
Right.
And we would attack and overthrow the slave master, his family, and his staff. We were not punks.
Oh,
Not by long. That's word. And that's a quote from Brother Whittle.
Oh,
Brother Mike Whittle. Big ups, Mike.
What's up, Brother Whittle?
SD. You know, it's funny how so many people say blacks need to stop waiting on handouts and do for themselves. You know? Now, for your information, this is another quote from Brother Whittle. Every effort we made to do for ourselves was destroyed by the U.S. government, private corporations, and private citizens. Look what happened in Tulsa in 1920 or 21. Look at Durham, North Carolina. Look at the Black Panther Party, the Nation of Islam, SNCC, CORE, the SCLC, etc. Every group we founded to assist us was destroyed by the U.S. government. It's crazy. They destroyed innocent men and women who all they were trying to do was help their people. The FBI infiltrated all of our organizations and saw to it that they were painted as enemies of the state or subversives. It looks like our advancement is somehow a threat to American way of life. Well, you know, considering when he was asked, J. Edgar Hoover was asked, what is the greatest threat to America? Now, this was during the Vietnam War and the 60s and 70s, the height of protests and, the civil rights movement and Black Power.
Right.
But during that time, there was, like I said, the Vietnam War, drugs going on, this, that, and the other. All right. J. Edgar Hoover said the greatest threat to America is Black unity, or at the time, using the parlance and language of the time, he said Negro unity. The greatest threat to America, Negro unity.
Because we are. I mean,
Yeah,
the Negro was the first product sold throughout their, stock market.
Oh yeah, we were the first commodity on Wall Street.
Their financial import and trade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, how can you say that if you had, started a business and the product of your business just get up and start talking back to you? I mean, the cereal box start talking back. Come on, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the way they look at us as a people.
Oh yeah.
And we are that generator, that
wealth generator.
Right, the wealth generator that flips America's economy. We are
still
that physical right now
to
2020, and then we're still being hated on as
less than human.
Right, being racist towards. I mean, this is crazy. I don't understand the mind frame and the mindset of the people nowadays that's still doing that, that's still stuck in that. It's a unity. Your child's gonna be next to my child on this planet, regardless of what goes on. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And since Nsoromma broke that down, like I said, J. Edgar Hoover did not say the mafia. He did not say drugs. He did not say the war.
Because they controlling all of that still.
Right.
And that's not nothing that can say anything back and take a stand.
What he said was Negro unity, black unity.
Right.
You know, it's something that
he should be locked up for that. I think that's a terrorist act.
Well, you're talking about J. Edgar Hoover, right?
Yeah.
He was the top cop in the country.
I understand
the
that.
head of the FBI.
I understand
you
that.
know, so who the hell was going to lock him up?
I mean,
this is,
you know, take it to the streets, stone them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
well, this is the top security.
We have to do what we have to do. I mean, it's like the unity lies there.
Yeah.
The unity lies in, he get hit with about 7,000 stones upside his head. You know what I'm saying? And that's a different thing. I mean,
but remember where we at.
That's just what we need. I mean, that is what's the main force problem of us being held down like we are. It ain't us shooting each other no more. It's the police killing us more than we killing ourselves now.
Yeah.
On top of us killing ourselves now. So, I mean, we got to understand that.
You know what? The police killing us is nothing new.
I mean, this is videotape now.
That's it. Now we got media
and it's worse, though. It is worse. Because it's happening more frequently and being seen more frequently and for less of reasons and less of causes. You know, it's just senseless, man. That's crazy.
Well, of course, the cause is genocidal activity. You know, and you got to remember what we're dealing with here. And we're dealing with white supremacy's plan for us. White supremacy, as I've told you many times, if you don't, it's from Brother Nellie Fuller, got to give it up to Brother Nellie Fuller for breaking it down for us. If you don't understand global white supremacy, everything else will confuse you. Global white supremacy has a plan in particular for black people. You always hear them talk about, well, you know, this country is racist against this and the racist against this group. This country's primary concern when it comes to race, primary goal, primary people that they want to keep down, that they fear more than anything, are black people.
I mean, well, how did they go into put a bill into play for the racist acts against the Asians when all this racist things been happening to black people, and they put a bill in effect right now for the Asians and stuff like that, and trying to get it passed that's like a felony or criminal offense, but they didn't even think about processing and putting that through for the native black man or the dark-skinned person. I'm not understanding that.
Okay, let me explain to you why.
Explain it to me.
Yes, I will. Okay, because the Asian is considered the ideal minority. The Asian is considered what we as black people should strive to be. You know, that's what they put out there. They hope to God that we never get our thing together as a people and advance on the level that the Asian supposedly has. Okay, let me tell you something. Black people have been misled to believe poverty is an individual failure. What it actually is, it is a carefully engineered system. We are at the bottom on purpose because we are feared because white supremacy has this plan for us. We are feared, first of all, as Frances Cress Welsing teaches us, God rest her soul, beautiful queen. What white supremacy fears is genocidal annihilation, because we carry the dominant gene. Okay, just by mating with them, we can wipe them out because our gene is dominant. They have struggle genes, which is why their infant mortality rate is, you know, much higher than us.
That's why they prefer mating with an Asian instead of a black person, because the Asian is more compatible to keep the
whiteness,
right, to keep the color of the whiteness white.
Yeah. You know that they knew that, you know, the gene of the black man and black woman is dominant. Okay, that's why they made laws called miscegenation laws. That it was against the law for a black person to marry a white person. It was against the law because they knew that genocidal annihilation is a reality, and that our strong genes would dominate no matter what. I don't care what you do. You get a black man and a white woman, or a black woman and a white man, that baby coming out black, or somebody coming out black down the line. And that's one thing they just can't stand. And like I said, we've been misled to
I think
believe.
that go either way though. That's why they injecting us with this DNA that's in this needle right now.
Yeah.
Down the line, you getting aborted 8-week, 4-week-old baby in this vaccine that's supposed to be for corona, and 7 to 8 years down the line, when you have white baby, you know what I'm saying, as a black person, you're gonna be like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And this is what's happening.
Well, as you know, geology, like I said, but the point I gotta get to is you don't forget this, understand this.
Right.
All right, that the poverty that our people suffer is not an individual failure.
Right.
It is a carefully engineered system. Okay, they have every intention. Have you heard of redlining? Okay, redlining is where you have a community, say it's a black community.
Right.
You own a house in that community.
Right.
Or you want to buy a house. Okay.
Okay.
The banks will turn you down based on the red line that's been drawn around that community. Now, supposedly that's been outlawed. Okay, but this is what has kept black people from attaining and maintaining generational wealth. You look at the net worth of a white family, is, picking a number, but just to give you an idea,
right?
It's $100,000, and that's low. But I'm just picking a number.
Yeah, but the average is like 230,000 or something like that.
Something like that.
From 150 to 230,
right?
Something like that. Yeah.
And that comes from generational wealth because their parents' were able to purchase property, pass that down, and use that property to build on. Whether it was to borrow against that property to finance a business, or borrow against that property to educate their children.
Right.
Okay. Excuse me. Now you look at the generational net wealth of a black family is $8. What you gonna build on that? Not a damn thing, because you cannot borrow against $8 or against a home that's not assessed to have wealth enough for you to borrow against. So that stymies you from putting your child in business, or that stymies you from paying for your child's college education.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I know when
Martin Luther King said that. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna send us out there and say pull your bootstraps up, and we don't even got no boots on? We don't have any boots on at all. We don't. We've been walking barefooted, so we gotta toughen our skin up on the bottom of our feet.
Yep.
So, and that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Feet. That's why we able to last so long. You know what I'm saying? We really don't wear boots anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we want to feel the earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just gotta keep going. You know what I'm saying?
And the crazy is, those that are vote right wing, and right wing white people and some liberal white people.
Right.
They want the government to stop giving people free stuff. And I've heard some black people say, yeah, if you want to get free stuff from the government,
stop taking taxes.
Damn right.
And then it'll be even trade.
You
don't do nothing for me, I don't do nothing for you, and I stand on my own 2 feet anyway.
How about that? Now, it's funny how they want the government to stop taking care of people and helping them out, but they don't give a damn about the $70 billion a year that the U.S. spends subsidizing Wall Street banks, the $38 billion in subsidies given to oil companies, which are already sinfully rich.
You think old companies, these are CEOs, these is people
Yeah,
that's running these organizations,
damn
that's
right.
getting that money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
You know,
that's the flip.
yeah. The 2.1 trillion that Fortune 500 corporations are stashing abroad to avoid paying U.S. taxes. See, we can't stash our little pennies abroad because, shoot, by the time you spend the money getting abroad or getting over there, you ain't got nothing to stash. $153 billion a year we spend to subsidize McDonald's and Walmart's low-wage workers. Because McDonald's and Walmart and corporations like them that pay substandard subsistence wages,
Right.
okay, the people that they're paying, their employees, can't live off of that.
Oh.
So to offset that, they have to get food stamps and social services help. So what you're basically doing is you're subsidizing wealthy corporations who are paying out slave wages. You're supporting slavery. This is the hell you're doing. God, damn. And then you're saying silly ass people. For instance, in Mississippi, now Mississippi has had Republican senators for 30 years and
Right.
Republican governors for 14 years.
Right.
But Mississippi has the highest poverty rate, the highest infant mortality rate amongst whites, the 5th highest unemployment rate, the 3rd highest incarceration rate, and the 5th highest uninsured rate. But they continue to vote for these people.
But I can guarantee you the prison system is mostly dominated to be all black.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's how
and that's the basis of their economy.
Exactly. So
you know
how you got 12% of the black population that lives there and 40% of them lives in prison. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on, wake up, yo.
I mean, that's
you know, I remember Brother Vaughn, you saw this if you
what's up, Brother Vaughn?
Right? I remember we saw this video where you know, in the South, I think it was in Kentucky, it might have been in Mississippi. Man, this white dude getting food stamps, you know, getting housing subsidies, Section 8, and all this. He lived in a shack. It was just awful, you know, just substandard living conditions, right? And he voting Republican, and they dogging him. And so the reporter asked him, how could you continue to vote Republican when you can see that they're not doing anything for you? You know, the jobs are gone. They supported the corporations moving overseas. What he said? And you know, they say it's not getting any better for you. He said, but it could. But it hasn't in 30, 40 years.
Oh, he's running with Jesse Jackson. Keep on alive.
Yeah.
Keep on alive.
It could.
Keep on alive.
Yeah. You know, that's word. And then finally, one of these white dudes just came right out with it. He said, we don't care if it hurt us as long as it don't help them.
Now that's his hatred, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's on another level. You know, where you'd rather be poor yourself. See, it was, I think it was Martin that said, you know, to keep me down in a hole, okay, you got to get down in that hole yourself. Come up out that hole and leave me the hell alone. I can get out the hole. See, you know what? Let me tell you something. This is our people. Okay, it was a guy that owned a donkey. And the donkey fell in the old well. And he tried to get him out. He couldn't get him out. And the donkey was down there, you know, trying about trying to get out of there. So he said, you know what? That donkey, you know, he ain't been a whole lot of use.
He old when he
anyway, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is
hit boy.
Yeah, you know,
started talking about the donkey to make it feel better.
Yeah, you know, his you know, his teeth is rotten, and, you know. So I'm gonna go here and get my neighbors, and we're gonna fill that hole up with dirt and just bury it.
Oh, that's even worse.
Ain't that awful?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what they started doing. They started digging and throwing dirt in the well on top of the donkey. Now, at first, the donkey was terrified, because he understood that he is being buried alive.
Right.
And they kept dumping that dirt on it. Well, the donkey caught on, and he shook the dirt off. And he shook the dirt off, and he stood on it. And the more dirt they threw in, the more he shook off, and the higher up he got. The next thing you know, he was stepping out of the well. Right? Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. And that's what we got to do.
Right.
They throwing that dirt on us, shake that dirt off. Like JC said, brush it off your shoulder, step on that dirt, and
get taller.
Get taller. And get taller.
That's right.
That's where this is the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM on Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
All right. All right.
Yo, what's good? I see you chilling. That's right. What's up, brother Lou? Hey, brother Slaughter. What's good? Let's make it happen. Yo, D. I see you. You be hanging in with us. You know what I mean? You know that.
All right. There, brother Vaughn. He in the house with us.
Yeah.
What's up, Vaughn?
What's happening, my brother?
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Yo.
Programs to focus on competitive employment for homeless veterans, provide job training, counseling, and job
History lessons.
Okay.
skills training.
Are y'all ready for some history? You guys ain't gonna drop a little bit of history, man.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean? We always dropping history, but it's gonna be some specific history.
yes, it's the I already learned something.
You gonna learn something? You gonna learn something today? You gonna learn today?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
No.
WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma.
All right. There's a brother in Africa named Thomas Sankara. Just to give you an idea how this brother,
Sakara?
Thomas Sankara.
Okay.
Yeah. Your idea how this brother fought.
Okay.
He said, knowledge is not enough to change the conditions of black people.
Right.
Understand that we need to create programs and systems that will empower us economically, spiritually, and mentally.
Right.
We need courage and action.
That's right.
And that's brother Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara was only in power for 4 years.
Okay.
He was from Upper Volta in Africa, a French colony. Thomas Isidore Sankara was a military captain after they overthrew. It was Thomas Sankara that renamed Upper Volta to Burkina Faso from 1983 to 1987. He was viewed by supporters as a charismatic and iconic figure of the revolution. And he is commonly referred to as Africa's Che Guevara. Just to give you an idea, in the 4 short years that he was in power, he vaccinated 2.5 million children against meningitis, yellow fever, and measles in a matter of weeks. Remember the Orange disaster? He couldn't get the vaccination together in a year.
Wow.
And when they did get it together, it's not trusted. He initiated Thomas Sankara
Right.
He initiated a nationwide literacy program, increasing the literacy rate in his country from 13% in 1983 to 73% in 1987, and it kept going up. Now, he was one of the first people to recognize, the ecology in this. He planted over 10 million trees to prevent desertification and deforestation. He built roads and a railway to tie the nation together without foreign aid. He would not take any money from the Europeans or the Chinese. He appointed females to high government positions, encouraged them to work, recruited them into the military, and granted pregnancy leave during education. He outlawed, and I don't know if many people are hip to this and why they do this, but he outlawed female genital mutilation. What is that? That is this, and it has nothing to do with Islam, but this is, for some reason, they tied this into Islam, that a woman is not to enjoy pleasure during sex. That's sinful to some of these brainwashed Muslim Africans. And so what they do is, and he outlawed this, but it's still going on in some countries. What they do is they cut off the women's clitoris. It's an awful thing. He outlawed that. He outlawed.
That's savage.
Yeah, that is, man. He outlawed forced marriages and polygamy in support of women's rights. He sold off the government's fleet of Mercedes and made the Renault 5 the cheapest car sold in Burkina Faso at that time, the official service car of the ministers. He made some black people mad. Because he reduced the salaries of all public servants, including his own, and forbade the use of government chauffeurs and first-class airline tickets. He told them, y'all gonna cut that crap because we have no balance in our country. We have a percentage of our people living well and another percentage of our people living on the bottom in abject poverty. That crap's gonna stop. That's why he made some black people mad. He redistributed land from the feudal landlords and gave it directly to the people.
Right.
Wheat production rose in 3 years, making the country food self-sufficient. He opposed foreign aid, saying that he who feeds you controls you. All right, this brother was 37 years old. He spoke in forums like the Organization of African Unity against continued neo-colonialist penetration of Africa through Western trade and finance. He called for the United Front of African Nations to repudiate their foreign debt. He argued that the poor and exploited did not have an obligation to repay money to the rich and those practicing the exploitation of our people. He forced civil servants to pay 1 month's salary to public projects. And he refused to use air conditioning in his office on the grounds that such luxury was not available to everyone, but only to a handful of the wealthier citizens in his country. And as president, he lowered his salary to $450 a month and limited his possessions to a car, a bicycle, and 3 guitars, a fridge, and a broken freezer. He was a musician. He's the only leader of a country to compose his country's national anthem. This dude was something else, and we don't even know about it. When he was asked why he didn't have a portrait of his face in public places, as was the norm in other African countries and other countries throughout the world, he said, because there are 7 million Thomas Sankaras, and I don't want nobody out there operating a cult of personality. So how would do? He seized power at 33, and guess what? He was murdered and assassinated by his own boy who sold out to the French colonialists at 37 years old. Thomas Sakara. Write that down. Remember that brother. He's the example of what the type of leadership we need.
Right.
And you know who he influenced?
Oh.
Muammar Gaddafi.
Oh, okay.
Gaddafi said he would not live in a house until all the people in his country had housing. He stayed in a tent until he had completely eradicated, completely cut out homelessness. Damn, y'all. Find out who we are here. And then we won't have idiots in office like that handkerchief head Tim Scott.
Handkerchief head?
Handkerchief head. Senator Tim Scott. Where the hell is he from? I don't even remember where this fool was from. Who the hell put this conservative moron in office? All right. Black conservative. The only black man in the Senate, unfortunately.
Is he black?
Or unreasonable facsimile. Okay. But what he do? He got up and said, America is not a racist country. Tim Scott, where the hell you live at? Are you kidding me?
I mean, that's what it looked like when people put a gun to your head.
Yeah. Or some money in your pocket.
Same thing.
Yeah, same difference. You know, I mean, this dude, where the hell? Oh, South Carolina. That's where he's from. South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina. You know, in the nearly 240-something, 232-year history of the U.S. Senate, there have only been 11 black senators.
That's crazy.
And unfortunately, one of them has been Tim Scott. And you know, people have been calling him Uncle Tim. Look, stop calling him Uncle Tim because they're too close to Uncle Tom. And Uncle Tom was a hero to our people. That's where Uncle Tom was a hero. Fine. Do your research. In the story of Uncle Tom's Cabin, the villain was actually Sambo and Simon Legree. It was not Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom would take cotton out of his bag and put it in another slave's bag.
Make the weight.
Yeah, so they didn't take it with it.
Right.
You know, you know, it's something that someone like Tim Scott, who said that he experienced racism, he know what it's like to be pulled over by the cops. But America is not a racist country. Damn fool.
Nah, that's what you call here oxymoron for America. He's like that infiltrator.
Like we said a couple of weeks ago, you making all that money and they catch you and they stick that mic up in your face and is there racism in them? If in the years, I ain't seen it. Handkerchief here. That's premeditated ignorance. That's premeditated ignorance. You know what premeditated ignorance is? It's the quality or condition of deliberate unawareness. And I say, what are you?
You said deliberate unawareness.
Unawareness. Deliberate unawareness. Purposely obtuse. Willfully ignorant. You know, it is.
No.
Yes. Yes. Willfully ignorant. It's when people do not know because they don't want to know. Look, let me tell you something.
Willfully ignorant.
Willfully ignorant.
Oh my God.
And you know what? Like I said, it's when people do not know because they don't want to know.
And it's crazy. And they don't care to know.
And they don't care to know. You know, that's what I call it, what did I say? Purposely obtuse.
That's what they call when they say you can't change the stripes on all polka dots on the dots on the whole dog.
Well, okay, let me hook that one up because I know what you're saying. You can't change the stripes on the leopard. The leopards got spots, not these leopards. You know, and they say, oh well, you can't teach your old dog new tricks. That's not true. I know older people that have learned to use these cell phones and all kind of stuff. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach a dumb dog a damn thing. And that's the problem. You know, I'm telling you, good God Almighty. Oh man, and you know what? We coming down there. Yeah, we coming down to the wire here. We got a few minutes left. We're gonna you know, we talk about education all the time, and what have you. And I'm just gonna cover this a little bit, but proof points. And I got it right here. Got it right here, y'all. All right. White and female teachers, not your shoes, I'm sure.
Most definitely.
All right. Show racial bias in the value in second grade writing.
Oh yeah, that she was
Yeah. You know. Now
she on a whole nother breed, man.
Oh yeah, I know that. Because you wouldn't deal with her otherwise. You know. And what they did was, there's a thing called the Hechinger report. Mm-hmm. And what they did was they submitted these papers to these second grade teachers,
right,
and they identified who was supposed to be the race of the writers, of the second grade students that were writing these papers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. When the teacher thought it was a black student, oh well, you know, the grammar is poor and this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth, and the writings were, you know, a little on the sloppy side, and,
right,
you know, and then, you know, they would give one well, this is from a white student. Oh, well, see how straight his lines are. And even though he made a grammatical mistake there, he does show later in other sentences that he does have an understanding of the grammar. Right? And then they told him, they said, look, here's the deal. We switched the papers up. The paper that you praised so much was written by a black kid. The paper that you criticized so hard was written by a white kid.
Right.
The only basis of your criticism was your knowledge of who you thought wrote the damn paper.
Right.
So this is the worst thing in the world, to have these racist people entrusted with the minds of our children.
Right.
We got to cut that. We got to start educating our own. See, being black in America is exhausting. You know, and I know people say, well, why y'all always talk about white supremacy or that? Oh, y'all be on that all the time. You think you know what? You tired of hearing that crap?
You're not too tired of, how about living?
How about living?
For all your life.
All your life. And putting up with this.
Not only that, did you see the guy that actually jumped out of his car and ran over to the bull and was hollering, I am a racist?
They locked his ass up. They should have
got him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that should be a terrorist act anyway, because if the black guy jumped out of his car and sprayed him with his AK,
you know
what I'm saying?
Yep.
And hit his family in his car and all of that. It had family that didn't have nothing to do with it, sitting in the car, and he sprayed and it went all the way over to the car, and the black guy would have been the criminal in that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta wake up. They do that, and the response can be very deadly, man.
That's right.
And so they need to make that a law. They need to make that real punishable, because the punishment of that is about to be like really bad when the black people start responding to them.
And that's the last thing. They don't want that. They don't want that response on that level. You know?
They really don't.
What we have to do is we have to respond politically. In order to do that, we need that unity. You know, and we as a people can just unify and stop giving your loyalty to one party or the other. Like I said, I told you months ago when they were having the election, we need to treat our vote like a whore, like a high-priced prostitute, and open the bid to the highest seller. That's what we need to do. Because if you're not giving me nothing for this booty I'm going to sell you, you ain't getting none. And that's what our vote is. Understand that. You know, and for those of you, well, your vote don't mean nothing, then why the hell they try so hard to keep us from voting? Come up with laws.
Right. I mean, we all count as an individual, always count. But we can still vote the people in and do what it is we have to do to get the person or the people in position, and they still not able to do it because there's always a higher person above the person that's in the position that's in that position. And it just goes on, and the hierarchy.
Well, see, we have to build it up like Dr. Clark Anderson teaches us. We have to build it, and we have to start on the local level.
Period.
Right. That's what we got to do.
Leave them alone and become our own economy. Period. Our own educational system, our own financial system, our own everything.
Once again,
you know
that requires unity.
Yeah.
That's word. If somebody locked out, we go and shut them down after 12. And I wonder who that bang is. That Thomas? Out there? All right. Well, I'm going to run a couple little things till you get back. Look, like I was saying, we got to get ourselves together politically, especially on the local level. If we unify and we get the right conscious people in office, okay, listen, we need to put together the organized, unified national party. And it has to be local factions throughout. And we can't sell out or be influenced by outside financing. The OUN is not interested in civil rights, human rights, white rights, Hispanic rights, Asian rights, Native American rights, gay rights, Christian rights, Muslim rights, nor American rights. The OUN, the Organized Unified National Party's singular exclusive interest has to be black political and economic power. That's what it's about. And that's what we have to do. All right. As I always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life. You decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs. Thank you for joining us. All right, Brother Vaughn. All right. Like I said, thanks for joining us. We're going to shut them down right now. And we will join you again next week. I do believe that Timeless Thomas is coming up following the open eye. And I just want to say, hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Patrice Gibbs on WHGE 95.3 FM. All right. All right. Well, okay. Some music to close out the show. Trying to hang in there for Nsoromma. All right, this has been The Open Eye with Patrice Gibbs.
And I'm Nsoromma.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right.
WHGE 95.3 FM. You dig? Yeah. Yo, thank God for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we always keep it moving and keep it going and keep it talking. So, yo, call us and tune in so y'all can keep it talking and moving with us so we can have a discussion and, you know, a conversation and maybe, you know, learn some more stuff. You dig me? Yo, Pat.
Yo, thanks for joining us. As usual. Oh, wait a minute. What happened there? Should we lose it? Okay, we're doing it. All right. Thanks for joining us. I hope you learned something. Look up my man, Thomas Sankara. All right. Learn from that brother. This is what we need to do. Big ups.
Hey, yo, hey, York, hit me up. Let me know something. You know what I'm saying? And we need to find out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Boom.